Welcome to a project from Exploring Autodesk Revit 2023 for Architecture. Let's go take a look at our assignment this week. We're going to be copying, moving, and mirroring elements that occur in the apartment. This is part of the apartment tutorial. There are 4 parts to it. Unfortunately, it covers about 2 to 3 chapters in the book that jump around, so let's start off and try to unify things. The first part of the 4 parts are we're going to modify windows. We're going to make changes. We're going to add double windows in here. This is the floor plan. We're going to be using our modify tools. We're going to be working with groups. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to add levels. We're going to add these section markers and this grid. Here's a grid, here's the section markers. And we're going to jump forward and go to our next the tutorial to create the floor and the ceiling for the apartment. Ceiling is not the same as a roof. So the ceiling is a ceiling grid. It's going to appear here. And that's that metal cage that you can see in industrial, and even at the school you can see there's a grid holding the light fixtures. We're going to move on and we're going to go look for add furniture and sanitation. Sanitation is another way of saying we're going to add toilets and kitchen fixtures. And then we'll have them all in place. We'll be looking at the Autodesk library or wherever we can get them. And I have some places listed, Revit City, BIM Object, if you really want to go full bore and get all this. You don't have to do everything here. I know it's a tedious list, but I would like the kitchen and bathroom. So something you would normally move in when you get a new apartment, and then a few things that you might even like to have TV, other kinds of furniture. And finally, we're going to take our model, which is now just a 1-story, and we're going to stack it. We're going to create a row, and that's a pretty cool process to do. And then we're going to cap it off with a roof. So let's get going. Let's open up our Revit file. First, we'll go up to the top. This is a feature from your textbook. They give you a starter file, and here it is. This is underneath. Double click, and it's a 2023 model, and so it will take a little bit to load. Because it's an older model, I have to upgrade the model. I'll choose it, and it'll take a moment to upload. And behind it, we see my Revit screen. I have a couple of... I'm trying to make it look like yours. It's loading up, and we'll get our 3D view, basic 3D view, and then we'll go to level 1. I saw a video where a guy pulled his properties palette and put it on the end. I thought that's pretty cool, and that's how I've been working lately. But to make sure that we're both in agreement, I'll keep my properties over here. And let's expand this tool. Okay, first thing we want to do, it looks like we're going to be looking for a set of windows, and it's going to be 2 foot 2 inches from the wall. It's a fixed window, and we go to our window component. And we had just finished this up the last time we left this floor plan. So let's look for our fixed windows. And it looks like it's going to be up here, 16 by 48. I'm going to add it. The window needs its host. We find the host. There it is at 2. I'm going to zoom in. Previously, I thought these were going to be at this end, but I am wrong. They are actually flush to the interior. So I want 2 of those, and it wants me to make a copy instead of just plopping another one down. So I will go ahead and make a copy. I'm going to take that, enter, move it off to the side, and here I'll have a chance to put it exactly. I'll just place it and come back and see where exactly it wants me to be. It's also going to be a 2, so remember I don't have to use the feet and inches. I can just do feet space and then nothing there. Go. There. Now I made the 2, and it's going to want me. We'll move this out of the way a little bit. Now we're going to select the 2 that we want to make to join to a group. Choose that to our area. I have them. I'll go up here. This symbol is create group. Go ahead and click that. This will give me my rollout bar to create the detail group. So they want it to be called 2x width is 3. We're going to do OK, and now we have things, and this will all move as one unit, which will help us when we want to do our mirror. So let's go ahead and do our mirror. I'm going to pick the axis right in the middle, and you can see it show up there, and I'll accept that. And that's basically how we do the mirrors. We find our middle point, or whatever the book tells us should be the axis. Then here's a nifty trick. So once that's done, you've created a group, and when it says go to the plus sign, we're going to go and we're going to see what kind of groups that we have created. And if we get my button out of the way, we can see that there it is behind us. If we can pick that, I can just go ahead and drag and drop this into this area. That's pretty cool. We can take words and that changes into the actual object, but we can see they're reversed, so I'm going to have to flip them. Okay, so I start again because I couldn't get the flip tool you have to do it as you're laying this down. So I did this far wall. I have better success. Then I can line it up and then mirror it and put it on this side. And then I put those, and I will go ahead and mirror. Now, one thing to keep in mind: sometimes you're reading the directions, but you also need to keep an eye on your original floor plan, because there's some dimensions that are not mentioned in the book that you have to refer back to the drawing. And specifically, I have this 1'7", it's kind of fuzzy in the book, and 3'6" is not even mentioned in the book. So you need to always refer back to your sketch plan that shows the original conditions, and that will take care of that. You'll go ahead and finish off everything. It looks like we have duplicate group, 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 and then they come off to the side, and that should complete that. And then we can move on to adding levels and grids. I've jumped to page 641 in the book, and I'm going to be making levels. I need to be sure I can find my level elevations, and they would like me to start out on one of them, north elevation. So I double click north elevation, and now I have this one lone building, and here I'm going to work on my levels. Using the architecture tab, I invoke that, and I can go and find that I have levels and grids available to me. I'll choose level. And I will line it up, and I think the book has it at 10, so I'm just going to drag 110, and then it creates a level that I'll put out here. Use that indicating line up to line up things, and keep on going. Right? I'll march another one up, and I can adjust these later, as with most things in Revit. So I'm going to make these perfectly lined up. We go up to level, there's a 4th floor, and then we're going to do one more, which will be the roof. So let's take that up. 10. Line that up. And then the next thing we want to do is go in and change these. I won't change all of them for this video, but just enough to get you started. I'll say roof. Double click in there. And I'm renaming that view, and that renamed view shows up here. So I'm going to work all of these to rename them, and then extend these out. And they might match the other ones, or I'll probably come in a little bit closer though and pull the other guys. Let's get our indicators, have things line up nice and neat. I've returned to level 1 floor plan, and I'm going to pick up the grid. And we're going to do grid. You can say place grid. There's offsets you can do. The grid takes a little bit of wrangling. So once I put the indicator on it, I pull up, and it takes the hang. Get the lollipop in down at the bottom, and then click it in there, double click, and then that initiates the second one. Usually show it where it wants to be, pull it up to the second one, then click, then pull down. Use my indicating lineups, double click, not clicking yet, now I click, and bring it down, lines up, click. Okay. So these are to show where major structural elements will be placed. This is for structural. But it's also a good place to reference, if you want to reference someone who's in a different field, they can find out this D2 on the side. Usually the alphabets work on the side and the numbers on the bottom. Not necessarily always true, but it's usually the opposites take place. So we're going to go ahead and rename these. Select my modify tool, give this a nice A, and this a nice B. And those are your grids. Next we'll move on to laying down the sections, which are a lot of fun because they give you the section view. The section view hides out in the View tab. It looks like this, and placing them is also an interesting procedure. Oops, I got it upside down, so we're going to start from the bottom. We're going to go pull this and this little flag unit so it cuts through this, and this is a section marker. This is going to be pointing at what I get to see. This will be where the numbers will be placed to coordinate that. While I'm here, I'll do a little adjustment. It's pretty cool because when I double click on it, I will get a section cut view of looking at that other entryway. So let's go back and go back to level 1. And that also created a section view. Here we go, sections. So it starts putting those in. Now they also want a longitudinal, longitude being the longest part. So let's put one here too. And this will help us to see the interior, help us to slice and dice this project so we can actually see when the time comes that we need to make a ceiling and we need to make a floor, we'll be able to see that they are placed correctly. Of course, there are more details that are mentioned in the book that I cannot cover on this video, but this is a good start for you and helps to get you going.